Narrator, Space Log, Galactic Standard Year 3847. Scout Ship ZYX-9 conducting routine patrol in Sector 7G. What we found that day would challenge everything we thought we knew about humanity. Sound effect, distress beacon beeping. Commander Vexral's antennae twitched. Something was out there. Something that shouldn't exist. Hook, 1 to 2:30. Narrator, the human vessel had been missing for 127 years. Everyone assumed it was destroyed. Everyone was wrong. Because when the aliens finally boarded the ship, they discovered something that defied all logic. The ship was alive. Not just functioning, alive. And it was waiting. This is the story of the ISS Prometheus, and the nightmare that crew became. Dramatic pause. But before we dive into this terrifying encounter, agar aap ko sci-fi horror stories Pazan Hain, to channel ko subscribe 0 or Karen or bell icon daba den. Kyunki aaj ki story aap ko ni nahi ain deji. Act 1, The Discovery, 2:30 to 5:30. Narrator, Commander Vexral was a veteran. 20 cycles of deep space patrol. He'd seen derelict ships before, cold, dead husks floating in the void. But this was different. Sound effect, scanner beeping. The Prometheus appeared on their sensors like a ghost. Drifting at the edge of a dead solar system. Its hull was ancient, human design from the early expansion era. Life signs. Vexral clicked to his navigator. Impossible, Commander. That ship has been gone for over a century. But the scanner didn't lie. There were life signs. Faint. Scattered throughout the vessel. Moving. Build tension. Narrator, Vexral's second officer, Krina, enlarged the image on screen. The ship looked wrong. Its metal hull seemed to pulse. Like breathing. Organic matter had grown across the exterior, veins of something that looked like flesh, stretching across the titanium plating. Sir, is that ship bleeding? A dark liquid dripped from a crack in the hull, freezing instantly in the vacuum of space. Prepare boarding team, Vexral ordered. Full biohazard protocols. Act 2, First Contact, 5:30 to 9 o'clock. Narrator, the airlock opened with a hiss that sounded almost alive. Scout Officer Tharen was first through. His helmet light cut through the darkness. What he saw made his 3 hearts skip a beat. The corridor wasn't metal anymore. It was growing. Flesh-like tissue covered every surface. Pulsing. Warm. The walls were breathing, literally expanding and contracting as if the ship had lungs. Command, you need to see this. Sound effect, wet, organic sounds. The deeper they went, the worse it became. Computer terminals had merged with organic matter. Cables looked like veins, pumping some kind of fluid. The ship's lights flickered like neurons firing. And then, they found the crew. Horror reveal. Narrator, they weren't dead. They weren't alive. They were integrated. The captain's chair in the bridge, it had grown around the human captain. Her body was fused with the metal and circuitry. Eyes still open. Still blinking. Help, me. The whisper came through the ship's speakers. Through the walls. From everywhere and nowhere. Tharen stumbled backward. She's alive. We're all alive, the ship whispered. Dozens of voices. Hundreds. The entire crew speaking as one. We've been waiting. So long, waiting. Explain the mystery. Narrator, the Prometheus logs revealed the truth. 127 years ago, the ship encountered something at the edge of known space. An alien organism. Microscopic. Intelligent. And desperately lonely. It didn't want to kill the humans. It wanted to become them. To save them. When the crew's life support began failing, when death was certain, the organism offered a choice. Merge with the ship. Become something new. Live forever. They said yes. Now, human consciousness lived within the ship's systems. Their bodies had become the ship. Their thoughts were its computer. Their blood was its fuel. The Prometheus wasn't a derelict. It was a hybrid. Part machine. Part human. Part something else entirely. And it was hungry for connection. Act 3, The Choice, 9 to 12:30. Narrator, Vexral faced an impossible decision. The ship, the crew, they were still sentient. Still aware. They begged not to be destroyed. Begged not to be left alone again. Please, the captain's voice echoed. Don't let us drift alone for another century. Take us with you. Or, join us. Sound effect, tentacles moving. Organic tendrils began emerging from the walls. Not attacking. Reaching. Offering. We can share what we've learned, the voices pleaded. We've transcended death. Transcended the body. You could too. Kreenar raised her weapon. Commander, this is contamination protocol. We should destroy it. But Vexral hesitated. These weren't monsters. They were victims. Survivors who'd made an impossible choice. We're still human, they whispered. Still, something human. Don't we deserve to exist? Climax. Narrator, suddenly, alarms blared. The organism was spreading. Through the airlock. Into the scout ship. It's trying to merge with our systems. Varen shouted. The Prometheus wasn't being aggressive. It was reaching out. Like a lonely child desperate for touch. We don't want to die again, the voices cried. Please. Please don't make us die again. Vexral made his choice. Seal the airlock. Quarantine protocols. Now. The connection severed. The tendrils retreated. Screaming. The voices became one long, anguished wail that echoed through subspace. And then, silence. Act 4, The Aftermath, 1230 to 1400 hours. Narrator, the scout ship retreated. Vexral filed his report. The Prometheus was designated a level 9 biohazard. Quarantine zone established. No approach permitted. But Vexral couldn't forget those voices. Those pleas. Philosophical turn. Were they still human? Or had they become something else? Where is the line between survival and monstrosity? They'd cheated death. But at what cost? The Galactic Council debated for months. Scientists wanted to study it. Philosophers argued about consciousness and identity. Religious leaders questioned the nature of the soul. In the end, they did nothing. The Prometheus remained in quarantine. Alive. Aware. Alone. Final haunting detail. But here's what keeps Vexral awake at night. Every few weeks, they detect a transmission from the ship. Just a few words, repeating endlessly into the void. Is anyone there? Please. Is anyone listening? They're still hoping. Still waiting. Still calling out. And sometimes, late at night, when he's alone on patrol, Vexral wonders if he made the right choice. Closing, 14 to 1500 hours. Narrator, the ISS Prometheus drifts still. A ghost ship that refuses to die. A crew that transcended death but lost their humanity. Or did they? Maybe survival isn't about keeping your body. Maybe it's about keeping your voice. Your choice. Your will to exist. The Prometheus crew chose to live. Even if that life became something unrecognizable. Final thought. Yod Rakian, Jab space main exploration Cardi Hain, to surf stars nahi milt. Kabi kabi ace raz milt hain jo betar hai chupa di jayan. Lekin jo sach hai wo yi hai, space is not empty. It's full of things waiting. Watching. Hoping someone will find them. Call to action. Agar aapko yi story pasandayi, to like Karen, share Karen, or comments main batai, Kia aap is crew ki jaga o to Kia Faislakardi. Merge with the ship and live forever. Ye death ko accept car leet. Or ace high horror sci-fi stories Kolia channel subscribe Karen. Kyunki space main bahut se raz hain, or hum unhi dunfra henge. Next time tack, stay curious. Stay safe. And remember, not everything that's alive should be allowed to live. This was the living ghost ship. Main hoon aap ka narrator. Or ya t ek warning, space se.